the Taylah Louise Budgets channel. You are here with me today for a February reset routine. This is a little bit new to me. I haven't done these so much, but this year I am just so aligned with my intentions and my goals, and I want to keep myself accountable to that. So you are going to help me because I'm going to try and film one of these videos, hopefully every month, let's say every 2 months if I forget. But today we are going to do a monthly goal check-in for January. We are going to set my February goals and habits, and we are going to collaborate with Press Reset with their all-in-one golden habit tracker, because I have been watching Smiley Citrus use it and Zoe Pritchard, and I'm just obsessed with everything Kaylin Kerbler is doing with Press Reset. So I'm happy to be working with her today, as well as we're going to do some January reflections, including talking through the 9 books that I read in January. Just a quick summary of what I was reading in January. Basically just keeping myself accountable in 2024. So let's go. First of all, I think it's important to note that I have been using Notion for the last almost year, I would say. And I tracked all my goals on Notion in 2023 and I set them up on Notion for 2024. But you can see that there are limitations to that, especially in terms of being able to break it down into a monthly format. So these are the goals that I set myself in finance, business, professional, and personal for 2024. I went through these in my beginning of the year reset video, so I'm not going to talk too much about those right now. And then my gym goals as well, and my intentions for the year. I've got a celebrations list here, but this is where things got a little bit tricky because I wanted to track my goals through the months, but I just didn't like this layout. It just didn't seem good. I had to handwrite notes every week. This just was not an aesthetic way or a maintainable way, I guess, to track my goals. So that's where Press Reset comes into play. Basically, this all-in-one habit and goal tracker was gifted to me, and I do have an affiliate link, so Taylah 20 for 20% off if you would like to achieve it yourself, but I wasn't paid to speak about it. So I genuinely wanted to use this. I have popped the goals from my Notion into the annual dashboard. I did change some of the categories up. So we've got finance, business, professional, personal, and then fitness. Finance goals, I still have add 1K to emergency fund. That was on my Notion, as well as earn 5K of extra income, pay off car loans, sell land, and save for wedding and honeymoon. So all of those are the same. In my business goals for the year, I had enjoy creating content, don't feel pressure to grow, and don't feel pressure to earn. So this was me setting goals for the year in a mode of not wanting, basically just being scared of burnout. And so when I was filling this in, I was like, you know what, how about I create myself some low pressure, no pressure goals, but just see if I hit them. So rather than necessarily feeling the pressure to hit them, we know that the intention is to enjoy and not feel pressure. But what would be nice? So I wrote some down. So I want to earn $500 from collaborations, have 1,500 Instagram followers. So I'm already in the 1,100 mark. So I'm not expecting too much from the year. I'm not trying to grow exponentially, but just a little bit of growth might, make me smile. I want to post 6 videos on YouTube that get 1,000 views. I think that would be nice. Okay, so I've got 3,250 subs on YouTube is also a goal. My goal for last year, for 2023, was to hit 2,500, and I hit that basically the week, after I filmed my reset for the year and checked in on my goals. I then actually hit it in the coming days. So yeah, 750 subs in an entire year feels good. And then I actually think I want to add 6 videos with 1,000 views. And I think I just want to go on YouTube, on Insta, and then on TikTok. Maybe I should just call that TK. TikTok, because I think that would be cool just to see really if I achieve it, because what I notice is when I film an Instagram reel, I'll usually post it as a YouTube short, as well as an Instagram reel, as well as a TikTok. And they perform completely differently on, all the platforms. So I think it'll just be really interesting to see which of these I hit that and which of these I don't. Professional goals, so I had work on routines with juniors. I'm already doing a really good job at this. And I really want to continue it because it feels nice. It makes my days feel really calm. Gather data on initiatives. I will need to do that throughout the year. Things kind of haven't really started yet in that front. And apply for one promotion. I actually added a question mark to this because I first of all need to decide if I want a promotion. So I'm actually going to add that here. Decide if I want a promotion. I keep going back and forth at the moment. So I need to make that decision this year. And then become in English, I've just got CEM. It's kind of like an if you know, you know, but I want to get those roles. I want to move away from geography and modern history and really solidify myself in that English space. That's kind of not in my workplace. It's an additional job that I want. Let's see if I can make that happen this year. They're less sought after English-wise as they are in subjects like geography and modern history, which I'm happy to do, but I would like to just stay in my home, which is English. Personal goals. So I had read 30 books. Was my goal for the year, and I'm already at 9. So I feel like I'm going to smash that one out of the park, but I don't want to change it to like read 50 books just yet. I feel like once I hit 30 books and I see what time of the year that is, because things will get a little bit busier. I was able to read so much in January because of school holidays. I had planned and prepare for future on my annual goals. Now, future as in my future fund that I have cash for, and that is my wedding honeymoon fund. So that's what I mean by plan and prepare for future. Basically, plan my wedding. Now that I have a date, I feel like I can say that. Steps have been made, progress has been made, wonderful. Deposits have been paid. Okay, I want to increase my protein intake this year. I need to support my gym going with the right kind of nutrition. So increasing protein intake. I want to hit my goal weight and maintain. I don't like sharing numbers publicly, because if going to the gym has taught me anything over the last 12 months, it's actually that the numbers mean nothing. My body composition has changed so much over the last year, but the numbers on the scale haven't. And that is because I have grown muscle and I have slimmed out in so many areas, but I am still thick in a lot of areas because I lift heavy weights. So I don't want to feel pressure so much, but there is a goal weight I have in mind. I would like to drop a couple of kilos this year. And we're going to talk about those exact numbers when I get to the weight tracker portion, because I was undecided, but I did decide, okay, I will just bite the bullet and put them on here, because I think it's a necessary discussion too, the idea that we shouldn't be striving for a number just to be the number. Like all-round health and nutrition and fitness and exercise and all of those things is kind of what I'm all about. And you see a lot more of that over on my Instagram at _Taylah Louise. I post a lot more kind of gym motivational content on there. I want to walk the dog weekly. I haven't been able to do this too much yet because it's been over 30 degrees every day of January, and we're in February now and it's still over 30 degrees outside, and she's like 12, come on. And it's been raining like every second day. So what do you do? I mean, this will come by the end of the year. I want to be in like a really good habit of walking the dog weekly, even if I'm not achieving that right now. And I want to cull my wardrobe. And that doesn't mean, like, I kind of already did cull my wardrobe over the school holidays, but what I have done is I've actually taken everything out of every sort of closet or anything that it's on, and everything is hung up. As I have been wearing clothes this year, I have been turning the hangers around, because I want to, by June or July, or maybe even by the end of the year, just so that we go through every season, I want to cull. I want to get rid of things because I'm currently using 3 closets to hang everything up, and that is just ridiculous. And then fitness goals, I had deadlift 80 kilos, bench 50 kilos, deep and back squat 50 kilo by 10 reps. And it's a bit sad because the program I'm following at the moment isn't doing those like big heavy lifts, but there's time in the year, you know? I'm working more on accessories right now. Practice running weekly, I'm enjoying this so far. And gym 5 times per week. Realistically, I like to go 6 or 7, but I'm only like trying to maintain the goal of 5 per week. And I decided to add assisted pull-ups of 40 kilos. So at the moment, I think I use like 68 kilos to help me pull myself up, which these arms be weak. But I would like to essentially halve that. So if I could take it down to the 40 kilo sort of mark, that would be great. And then I would like to practice doing Pilates monthly at home. I'm not a big core girl. I'm not a big like soft exercise girl. I do like my like heavy weights, but I think it will really help me with posture, with control. Like, I'm not one for meditation or journaling or anything like that. And I actually think that Pilates is a really good way that I'm like exercising, but it's good for my nervous system. Annual tracker wise, so subscriber count, I couldn't remember the exact number, but I know I started around 2,500 and I've already gained 72 subscribers this year. So I crushed it in the month of January. There was a lot more posts over December, January for me though. So that is kind of uncharacteristic growth. And then I have revealed, so as of the 1st of January, I was weighing 84.7 kilos. And by the end of the month, I was 83.2. I do fluctuate quite a lot. I am a woman, things happen. And that's completely okay with me. I've been tracking my weight almost daily for a couple of years now. Like, it doesn't affect me. When I said hit goal weight and maintain, I basically just want to like be under 80 kilos. That is my goal. I would like to stay in the 70s. I once got down to one of my lowest weights as an adult was about 72.9, I think I was. And that's unachievable. That's unmaintainable for me. That's eating in too much of a deficit and not being able to enjoy life. So I would rather just stay in the 70s and be happy and balanced. And I also wasn't lifting as heavy in the gym as I am now. So I want to support my body to be able to do that. Oh my God, that's only my annual goals. I haven't even spoken about my monthly goals yet, but that will be quick because that is flicking back over to my Notion, which we're going to say goodbye to soon. But basically, increase protein. Yes, I did that. Walk the dog weekly. No, I didn't. Practice running weekly. Yes, I did. Gym 5 times a week. Yes, I did. Business mindset. I ticked off, yes, I did, because even this collaboration is because I sorted out, because I wanted to, because I was like excited about filming this video. So I consider that to be good. I really enjoyed making my Taylah Louise content. I don't ever want to feel the pressure to like take a sponsorship because I want the money from it. I want to take a sponsorship because I'm excited about the content that I'll be able to create with that idea. So yeah, that is January. February, this is where we can set my February goals. I just think this is the perfect way to get organized for 2024. Like maintaining organization. I am a list girl through and through. I just obsessed. I feel so good when I get to tick these off. So I'm just scrolling down because I've written out some of these goals just to speed things up a little bit. So finance goals for February. I want to set a goal to buy coffee weekends only. I want to track all spending, and I do have a trip involved, so that's going to be a little bit trickier. And I only want to buy takeout once per week maximum. And that doesn't include coffee, that's meal, like a meal out with my other half. Business goals are to maintain post schedule, so basically pre-film for while I'm away, which should be pretty easy. And then, I mean, I guess post collab content, which I mean, I have already created, it's already scheduled for Taylah Louise for the month, but that is a February post. And then obviously just editing and posting this video will also be part of that. But I still think it's goal, even if I'm halfway to completing it. I don't know what I just did there. Oh, there we go. Okay, professional goals. So I'm just gonna write MCC first presentation. I need to make a presentation, and I've been avoiding working on it at work, and I don't know why. I haven't gotten into the swing of things yet with that. So yeah, I want to organize and do my first presentation of the year. And I got asked on Friday to edit some term 2 slides. So I need to do that, and I don't want to put it off because they don't need to happen yet. I'd rather just like get in and get it done now. Oh, I also want to complete e-work. I'm gonna call it. You know, before the C, E, and M, I've got some e-work to do in the coming weeks. No worries, personal goals. So I'm working on repairing my nails. So at the moment, I don't have any color on my nails, and I usually do, and I do it myself. But I have noticed that over the school holidays and stuff, I just was really picky, really like anxiety, like around my nails and of my nails. And so they were ripping and breaking. So I am not putting color on them at the moment. I'm just putting the base and top coat just to keep them stronger. And I've already noticed a difference. But I just really want to keep working on repairing my nails and my hands and staying focused on that. I would like to read 5 books this month. I know that that's more than I need to reach my goal for the year, but like we said, we are wanting to push the envelope and read more books this year. I want to enjoy Sydney guilt-free. So my trip to Sydney, I want to just like feel no guilt about spendings, about enjoying myself, about what I eat and drink and do. I want to just like enjoy that trip. That is going to be like once in a lifetime experience, and I'm so excited about it. I'm wearing the Taylor Swift shirt today, so I'm very excited. I want to continue habit tracking. So like on the press reset worksheet, I want to do habit tracking. So we're going to set that up in a moment. And I want to vary clothing choices. So this is working towards my wardrobe goal. So I want to, focus on varying what I choose out of the wardrobe, not just go, okay, I'll wear this, and then it comes out of the wash and I wear it again. I want to like pick different things. Fitness goals. I want to walk the dog twice this month. I feel like that's a good stepping stone to working up to walking once a week, if it's once a fortnight. Practice running weekly. That is one of my yearly goals, and I need to do it every week. So I want to track that I'm doing that. I want to track my food intake. And this is more just so that, because I have a kind of daily habit tracker of like have I eaten balanced today? So in order to decide that, I want to be writing down all the food that I'm eating. And then I can actually, I don't know, I feel like data is good. So tracking food, writing it down means that I have to stay accountable to what I put in my mouth. And then that's what I'm going to put in this category, because the other ones are all daily habits. So we're going to scroll down to the daily habits, because I am doing 75 soft this month. So I'm tracking it all and I'm posting about it on my Instagram. So feel free to join me over there with it. I'm having so much fun with it already. A lot of these daily habits were things that I was kind of already doing, or just like pushes me a little bit further to try it a little bit harder than I'm challenging myself to do. And yeah, I'm just really excited about it. So in terms of 75 soft, maybe I'm gonna add 75 soft as it's an individual one. And then if I do all of the things within it, I get to tick off that I've done 75 soft for that day. So that means I need to do a gym workout every day. I need to do 30 minutes of cardio every day, read a chapter a day. And I think that helps, because if I wanna read 5 books in a month, I need to be reading more than a chapter a day. So at least 1 chapter a day. I am increasing this one. So I've already found over the first 3 days of saying that I was gonna drink a whole Stanley, I said I was going to drink 1 Stanley of water a day. But I have noticed that it's really easy for me to do that, and I actually crave more water than that. So now I'm pushing myself to do 2 Stanleys of water per day. I want to limit myself to 1 soda a day. So I love Pepsi Max, and I used to have a Pepsi Max at work every single day. And then I would have 1 at home. And I don't like that I was having 2 a day. I think that's excessive. Then we want to eat protein focused, and I'll know whether I've done that or not. Am I going above and beyond to eat something with extra protein that I wouldn't naturally or normally? So that's that. And then no alcohol. I'm not a big drinker anyway, but I just think it is nice to think, okay, 75 days, that's 2.5 months. I'm not worried about it. It's a choice, right? I know that I can go 2.5 months without alcohol, but it's just pushing the envelope, challenging myself a little bit, you know? I haven't really spoken about this yet, but there is one exception to the 75 soft, and that is the Taylor Swift weekend. Who knows how I'm gonna feel about it at the time. Part of me is going to probably still not wanna drink alcohol, still wanna be protein focused, still wanna be drinking my 2 Stanleys of water per day. But I won't necessarily, I don't know our accommodation, I don't know if it has access to a gym. I'm definitely gonna get my 30 minutes of cardio because we're gonna be walking around Sydney. I think it goes against the grain of me wanting to enjoy the trip guilt-free if I'm trying to meet the requirements of 75 soft. Now, like I said, these rules for 75 soft are basically what I've been doing anyway. If you think I should extend it to finish on the 19th of April to add those 4 days onto the end, let me know in the comments below and I will think about doing that. But in the meantime, I'm not too worried about it. And then my last goal that's actually not part of 75 soft, and I was tempted to put it in my monthly goals, but I need to be able to track it every day to know if I've achieved it. So I'm gonna add it as a separate one, and that is my skincare morning and night. I'm pretty good at this, but every now and then I'll miss it. And I have already done that for the first 2 days of the month. This is the 3rd that I'm filming this. I haven't had any alcohol. I've been eating, I've done all of these things. I have achieved my 75 soft so far this month, and I've already done my gym workout this morning and my 30 minutes of cardio. But yeah, that looks cool. That looks sick. Wow. Okay. Let's see how we go with that. And that is the end of my habits for now. I kind of wish I started this last month so that this could have been filled out, but I'm not going to go back and add it in. I think it's kind of cool to see that I'm now taking control of it, even though it's February. But we are going to jump to my monthly budget stuff. So things have changed in this realm as well. So thank you so much, Press Reset, for that. And we're going to jump over to some other stuff for budget. So at the moment, I use both Hey Creatives and CoPlenty for budgeting. So I am really considering swapping over to the Ultimate Wealth Dashboard by Press Reset and just having everything all in one place and using one brand, because it does get confusing having multiple. But currently they serve different purposes. So I am definitely considering the switch, because I just think it would be great to be able to take control of my finances using the Ultimate Wealth Dashboard and track goals all in one with the habit tracker and stuff as well. But I currently just use the Hey Creatives Excel sheet to track my monthly budget. So this is where I kind of, my fortnightly budget. So this is where I plan out, okay, I'm getting a payment of $2,433 from my salary. Where am I going to put it? And it doesn't really change that much month to month because my expenses stay pretty much the same. My bills stay pretty much the same. And so do my savings and sinking fund intentions. But things do like alter just very slightly. Whereas I am this year using the Plenty budget, and I wish I delayed myself and just used the Ultimate Wealth Dashboard, but it's too late now. I tracked all of my spendings in January, and this is something I used to do, was track all my spendings, but I didn't then like calculate them for a yearly total. And I've been watching Smiley Citrus forever. I actually met her in Adelaide last year, and I like can call her a friend. But I love the fact that she can see at the end of the year, like how much money she spent in different categories and assess that, and like assess it each month as well. The reason I've avoided doing this for so long is actually just because of the way that I budget. Because I save so much money in advance and I have sinking funds and things like that, and I do all of that in cash, it makes it a lot harder to track money in a budget sheet like this because I don't earn money in a month and spend all of that money in a month and zero it out that way. Yes, every dollar I earn gets budgeted so that it's $0 left over, but it doesn't quite work for like a monthly schedule. And you'll see why. So we are looking at the January one here, and this is my first time doing it, and my actuals are out. So something happened here, and it says that I spent $300 more, but I swear I didn't. So I obviously have just like mucked up somewhere in the income realm. I know that my salaries were correct. Target bills is the amount of money that I spent out of my target bill binder. So I always do an unstuffing at the start of the month. So I took out 605 at the start of the month. And what you haven't seen is that I did go back in and take another 75 out, and we'll talk about why soon. Sinking funds. So I actually thought I'd put this in income because this should help me zero it out, is if I take money out of one of my sinking fund envelopes, that's technically income from a previous month. That's technically like rollover from a previous month. So I've got a category to see how much I'm taking out of my sinking funds each month, which I think will be cool to see over the year, even though it'll put my income off because it'll mean that the money that I've earned in the year is wrong. But I'll have all of the spreadsheets to be able to go back and work it out if I want to. Surveys, I earned $100 this month, and then other is $250. And other in this example is $250 that I want to track the spendings that we do on the wedding, but I'm only paying half of it. So for example, we had to pay a $500 deposit. We had to pay a $500 deposit for our wedding, and only $250 of that came out of my money, but $250 came out of my other half's money. So I just put that in as other income for me so that I can track the full spendings on the wedding, even though only half of it was mine. So when we get to the end of the year and it says how much we spent on the wedding, I'll be able to go, oh, okay, but I spent this much, which is actually not going to be fully 50-50, but you'll be able to see, you'll understand. I needed to do that for my brain to see that, okay, that extra money that was spent wasn't actually my money, so it's not coming out of my budget. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope it does. I really hope it does. This is my first time doing this, and it really is stressful. It's hard. I don't know how people make this seem so like cut and dry and simple, because I have stared at this spreadsheet so much this month. But basically $2,500 of my money went into the joint account for the house. That is not just our mortgage payment. That is we've got our own account, and I've got my own Excel spreadsheet for us. And we have savings. We have a month ahead fund. We have a sinking fund kind of tab, as well as bills. Like I've got a future bills sort of fund there as well, so that when like our water bill, our rates, etc. all come in, we have money sitting there that can go to that. So I worked that out. We're in a good place with that. Phone bills, 25, gym, I budget 50, but it's actually 51.80. And you'll see why I don't really care about that in a second. So iCloud is just $4.49. So again, I budget $5 for that. So 51 cents extra. I like to round these things up because you'll see this 180 that I'm overspent in gym, I end up underspent. So then we have Stan. I budget 19 because I used to be on a $19 membership, but it's actually 16 now. YouTube is $14.99 and I just budget 15, but I think that's actually going up to like $22.99 or something. So I might need to bump this up to like $20 and then the excess will be covered. Patreon is $11. and that's actually $11. And then I've got Audible here, but I've got a year subscription, and then lashes, I didn't plan to get them done at all in January because I'm having a break from lash extensions, but I was having an issue with my self-confidence with going from having lash extensions all the time to having nothing done on them. So I did go and get my last ones removed and get a lash lift and tint. And I think that's just enough to keep me going without it, because I don't wear makeup. So I just felt like I needed some darker lashes. And so I spent $100 on that, which is why I went and pulled out an extra $75 from my Target bills, because I went and took out $75 from my lashes fund. Then we have expenses, which again is one of the hardest ones for me to track with the way that I budget. And you'll see why, but again, it makes sense to me, so that's fine. Groceries, budget was $300. I actually spent $661, which is crazy, but I wasn't planning to go to Costco when I made the $300 budget. And I spent $470 at Costco. So realistically, in my Kohl's spending, which was my $300 budget, I'm way under, but we just added the $470 on from Costco. I split up my eating out budget between eating out and coffee. So I just think $50 a month of my eating out budget should be coffee, really. My coffee's like $10 a time. And so if I buy one for me, my other half, it's like $20. So $50 a month. I spent $19.40. I only bought us coffee once. I let him buy it the other times because I had spent so much money on groceries. Eating out, I planned for $150. I spent $118. And so you can see there's about $30 left over. But because of the way my fortnights work, I did have $50 left in my eating out budget, and I bought us dinner last night. But last night was the 2nd of Feb. So on this sheet, it actually already says that I spent $42.42 on eating out because I spent it on the 2nd of Feb. But it came from my January budget. So I might have to just accept that these sheets will always be slightly out. And that's on that. Fuel, I don't know how this happened, but apparently I spent $199.48 on fuel this month. I'm not going to question that because I didn't think I went over. Maybe I filled up at the start of the month with money from December. That sounds more likely to be the case, that that's 3 fill-ups, not 2. Maybe. Spending, so spending says it's budgeted $40 because that's the $20 per fortnight that gets put in my wallet. But not all of my spending is categorized as spending because I do want to break up what I'm spending things on in some way. So apparently I spent $21.20 on miscellaneous spending, which I actually think was money I spent on Etsy for posters for my classroom, which is a tax deduction. So not mad about it. But I did spend $217.85 on clothes. And one of my outs for the year is buying clothes regularly. There are 2 purchases I made in January, so we're starting strong. One of them was this shirt, so not mad. But I did place a Halara order, and it is because I have been watching, what's her name? Oh my God, why have I forgotten her name? Rachel Vin on YouTube for ages, and she raves about some stuff from Halara that came out of sinking funds, and that's why there's $850 that it says comes out of sinking funds. Some of that money was for my dress deposit and my wedding deposit, my side, and then some of the other money came from sinking funds was for clothes, books, $687. I think that was some Audible deals. Beauty, I spent $56. Now this is because in December I bought laser. I bought 6 treatments of laser, and then on my first treatment they were like, oh, you're gonna need this like laser aid cream. So I spent $56 on that, and I've had laser twice now, and I haven't used my own laser aid cream once because I haven't felt like I needed it. So waste of money, but the more you know, right? I didn't know at the time. And then we go down and I spent $50 on gifts, and I think, yes, by the time you're seeing this video, she knows about it. So I spent $50 contributing to a gift for Liz and Les while she was in Australia. So that came out of my gift sinking fund. And then $800 on the wedding. $550 of that is my money because $300 deposit on my wedding dress and $250 on our like wedding package. And $250 of that came from that other income, which is the money that my other half put towards it. Now we move on to savings. So in terms of savings, I put $1,000 towards my Target bills, technically $1,200 because of annual bill money for 2025. That is an envelope in my Target bills binder, but I am tracking it separately because I want to see how much I save up for that throughout the year. Something else that I'm doing at the moment is anytime I get interest in my like sinking funds account, because my annual bill money is in that account, I'm actually counting that interest as going into the annual bill fund, just because I think the more that's in my annual 2024, the more that will then roll over to my annual 2025. Emergency gets a $5 transfer just to make sure that I get bonus interest in my emergency fund account. And then in terms of envelopes, my challenges got 240 this month, other sinking funds got 240 this month, and Roundup, which is the hardest thing for me to track, $33 of Roundup money for the month. And then in terms of debts, it's just my car loan. I take out $480 from my Target Deals envelope for that for the month, and it actually only costs $473.32. So $6 gets kind of rolled into my cushion, which is again why I don't mind things like my gym membership being a little bit under, because I know that some other bills are over to cover it. And I don't mind if I'm slightly off because I want to be building my cushion anyway. So I'm just moving over because I wanted to show you, oh, here we go. So my transactions tracker, I'm not the best at it, but I just wanted to talk about my Roundup. So things like I spent $188.89 on groceries, so I track that as that. But because I use cash to budget, I actually took out $190. So then in order to track the $190, I don't want to say I spent $190 on groceries, because if I do that for everything that I spend, it's going to sound like I spent a lot more money on those items than I really did throughout the year. So I am tracking my Roundup. So $188.89, and then I just add in the $111 as a Roundup. So Roundup is going to be the most transactions every month. That's why I'm tracking it that way. Kind of cool just to see this, where most of my money goes. Again, this is my first month of this, so I don't really know what I want to look at or what I'm tracking, but I'm just excited to have data because I've never had data before. Most of 35% of money went to the joint account for the house, so that's fine. Again, Target bills is the next biggest one, so that's fine too. Wedding fund, again, that's fine. That's one of our priorities for the year. Groceries is next, followed by my car loan. Again, kind of expected. So I love to see that challenges and sinking funds are the next up, and then fuel, eating out, lashes, beauty, gym, gifts, etc. So yeah, no, that's cool. I'm happy with how that spread is. It aligns with my priorities and my intentions for my money. My next thing is just to check in on my vision board. So am I living in alignment with this? Am I still working on debt payoff? I am. Am I still going to the gym? I am. I'm planning the wedding. I haven't been walking the dog. I'm so sorry, baby. I have been eating healthy. I have been doing my cardio on the treadmill. I have been reading, and Taylor Swift is weeks away. So everything is looking pretty good on there, apart from my poor baby here, but we will get to that. We will. She's getting plenty of love and attention, despite that not being walks just yet. And then we wanted to talk about reading. So I read Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. Is that how I say that? I'm so sorry. And I gave it 3 stars. If you want to know like my reviews, head over to my Instagram, because I have a highlight of all my reads. I always post them the day that I finish them on my Instagram stories, and then I save it to the highlight. So you can go over there. 101 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think by Brianna Wiest. So I listened to this one on Audible, and I didn't love it. 2 stars for that one, 2 stars. I feel like you have to read it when you need it rather than just reading it for the sake of it. I like to read self-growth things, but it didn't hit. Then I read A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I gave this 5 stars. I've added it as a new favorite read. It's my first fantasy in like a decade, but I really did enjoy it. Like I said, I gave it 5 stars, and that is my first Sarah J. Maas book ever. Then I finished the Audible of A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. And this is the book that no one can recommend. And I can't even recommend it, but I did love it. I gave it 5 stars. I made it an all-time favorite. So many people kind of read this and they love it, but they're like, I can't believe someone would write this as fiction. I found it really heartwarming and really healing. And while it was very traumatic and there is a lot of darkness in it and a lot of bad things happen to the people in it, I thought that it was a story of unconditional love of all kinds, friendship, family-wise, romantic-wise. It didn't tear me apart the way that it tears others apart. I didn't sob. I did tear up, and I'm so glad I read it. I'm so glad I read it, but I'm not telling you to read it. Then I read The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I didn't expect to like this because it was YA, but I'm obsessed. I'm like actually obsessed. Like I'm having to force myself to finish reading a different book before I pick up the next one in the series, because I don't just want to read this series this year. But I gave that 5 stars too, and I added it as a favorite because I didn't add it as a favorite initially, actually. I read the first one and I was like, oh, I really like that. And then once I read the second one and loved that too, I was like, okay, I can make this series a favorite, and I'll come back and change that if it drops off over the next couple of books. So 8 Rules of Love by Jay Shetty, I gave 3.5. I thought it was good. It definitely gave me confidence that my relationship is in a healthy place. I don't think I necessarily needed a lot of the insight, but I respect that some people definitely do. Then I read Daisy Jones and the Six, and now I'm feeling like a really generous rater, or maybe I'm just a really good book picker, and I'm picking up books that I know that I'll enjoy. So Daisy Jones and the Six, I gave 5 stars. I read this. This is the first book that I've ever read like as an audiobook with the book in front of me and looking at the words. And I think for this style of book, that was the right way to do it. One of my favorite Taylor Jenkins Reid books that I've read so far. I really also enjoy Forever Interrupted, I think is my all-time fave. Consent Laid Bare. Now this one. I, as you can see, like to jump back and forth between fiction and non-fiction and like deep fiction and like romancy fiction. But Consent Laid Bare, I also gave 5 stars. This is the book that like everyone needs to read. This was kind of painful. It made me angry. Just the way that our world is and the conversations that still need to be had around sexual consent, particularly with young people. Just, it said some really, really important things backed up by research. And yeah, I recommend everyone to read Consent Laid Bare. I gave it 5 stars. Thank you so much, Chanel Contos. Then I read the second book in the Natural series, and this one I also gave 5 stars. Almost better than the first. I had so much adrenaline reading the end of this book that I took the book to the gym and walked on the treadmill to read for the last hour of it, because I just like couldn't put it down, but I also just like had so much pent up energy reading it that I was able to like walk it out. And now I think I'm going to do that more often, because that was a sick way to get some steps in at like 7 p.m. at night. And though I'm not going to talk about Archer's Voice, you can kind of see my rating there, but I'm not going to talk about that because that was a book I finished in February. But yeah, pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I gave 6 of 9 books 5 stars in January. That's crazy. Hey, I've got some 2s and some 3s in there, so I think I am a fair rater, but wow. I loved a lot of what I read in January. No wonder why I read so many books, because I was like loving them. That makes sense. That makes sense. No book slump for me in Jan. But yeah, that is my reads. Definitely go check out my Instagram @_Taylah Louise to see like my official like full reviews. It's also on Goodreads, so you can find me over there as well. But you know, I think that's it. I want to say, I don't even have to, but I want to say another thank you to Kaylin Kerbler from Press Reset for working with me. And I am very excited to be habit tracking and goal tracking all in one place this month. I am so glad I picked the green, because it's so good and freeing, and it's like green, go, go, go. Let's go, go, go and smash these goals. So thank you so much for watching. I am Taylah Louise Budgets, and I shall see you in my next video. Go down below, click like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified every single time I upload. Bye!